Hello there, dear brother.
Hi.
I want to say something before we get into our review,
Sure.
our last review of the Beastmaster. I felt maybe I was a little harsh on your health in a sense of what you're not doing or what you could be doing and stuff like that. We've had talks about this several times, and it seems like you don't get it through your thick skull, but it comes from a good place and says, I care for you, I love you, and I want you to outlive me. I know that, well, a lot of people, even Kim, will say that I'm speak without boundaries, if you will, or
Speak your
I don't know what's
mind.
the word. No, I speak my mind,
Yeah,
but
no, that's what I'm saying.
I
You
don't,
you do you're comfortable speaking your mind.
yeah, a little too much, a little too often.
Fair.
Yes, with you and with other people too, not just you, but it's like it may be sound like I'm beating a dead horse or a record playing over and over again. But what are you gonna do? When are you gonna do it? When are you gonna snap out? When are you gonna take care of your health? Because the thing is, you and other people they get comfortable. I get comfortable a lot of times with myself and things I do, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to change that, be it maybe change my job or career, maybe something else, or maybe not worry about it so much and just let the work do its course. Because I do get paid well for what I do and for the hours that I do it for. Your job is different, but I personally think you're so much more talented that you shouldn't be doing the job you're doing, or
Appreciate that.
not for the pay you're doing it for.
I can agree with that.
And I've given you lots of job openings and stuff like that, but you don't apply to them. You should apply because you're far more knowledgeable in the stuff I send you for that I could apply for. Not that I would get it, but I could apply for the same job, but you're more qualified than I would ever be.
Yeah.
I say with that, get off your ass, apply for other jobs. There are so many others out there. What you're doing, you should no longer be doing. Meaning that you're doing a job someone that could else be doing it pretty much right out of college for the most part. And they probably would get it paid higher. Where you, well, I know it's not you, is the people you work for, they give you the title, but without the pay to match it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. I say that because like I know like I had this discussion like they raised the starting bar and it just catches up to where I'm at. Not
Right.
by much. So like all those years I worked to get to where I'm at is basically negated.
And how long have you been working with the company?
Going on 11 years now. 11 years.
Okay.
I'll be honest, some of the reasons I don't go elsewhere is because I am not comfortable with change. It's a scary thought to leave from one position to another, especially if I'm
Mhm,
going to a new venture and
mhm,
I don't have a guarantee. Like the fact that I'm where I'm at right now, yeah,
mhm.
I could always be sacked, but like the likelihood of me being sacked is way less.
Okay, listen. The only thing that's guaranteed is death.
You're right in that.
All right. So, and nothing is gained without risk.
I'm not disagreeing in any of this. What I'm just saying is like I'm just saying,
Right. I understand. Listen, when I came to Florida, I didn't have a job. I had a connection,
yeah,
but that fell through. You know about that. And I just went and I hustled and I worked at different jobs. I worked at a freaking nightclub for a while and all this stuff. I did end jobs here and there.
hmm
Now I'm with a company that I was with New York, but now I'm still here with them here, and now I'm doing well. But it doesn't mean that is guaranteed
hmm
because they can just kick me out because I speak my mind because I have no filters, and that gets me more in trouble than appreciation.
yeah,
I just tell the truth. I see it. I call it as I see it.
yeah,
A lot of people don't like that. They don't like honest criticism. They don't like the truth be told. They want to be lied to make their ego feel better. And I'm just blunt and I'm straight up about it. But the thing is, you are far talented in what you do. And there's jobs out there that pay up the wazoo and remotely. So you don't have to worry about traveling gas and wear and tear on your car like you do now. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. But you don't know until you try, until you put it out there. Because the thing is, you've sent applications within your own company
yeah,
and they say, oh, you're up for it. You're up for it. And then they give it to someone else who is less qualified with less experience, but they got the job. I want you to do better. I want you to get your worth.
Yeah.
And I want you to move a little more, eat less, walk more. If you're not going to work out due to your back situation,
Be active.
walk, be active like that. Do some stuff, fun stuff. Go play some miniature golf. Just do something because your condition, your health shouldn't be what it is at your age. I mean, I'm 51. I have injuries up the wazoo due to my active lifestyle, what I did growing up, but I'm still active as best as I can, where my body allows me to be, not 100%. As a brother to another brother, I just love you and I want you to get the most out of it. And I saw that face because I was doing it for a segue. And speaking about brothers, so currently on Netflix, we have a series called The Brother's Son, currently scored on Rotten Tomatoes at 85% by the critics and 93% by the audience. Let's get it on, brother.
Welcome back to A Tales of Two Bros. I'm Adan,
I'm Angel.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoilers.
Even though we agreed to do reviews on shows and movies that we grew up on, sometimes we got to do a review of what's going on right now.
Funny enough, the reason why, because I remember I brought this up to your attention.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I asked you initially, have you heard about Brother's Son? And you're like, yeah, I heard about it and I haven't seen it. Because one of my coworkers kept talking to me about it. He's like, have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet? So this is shout out to one of my coworkers. We call him Coach. The reason why I heard about it was because he's like, it reminds me of those old school kung fu movies. It's hilarious. It's a really good show. He didn't know about it and he just started watching it. And then he's like, you have to watch this show. I guess you forgot because then you sent me the trailer to it. I'm like, yeah, I was looking at it. I'm like, I told you.
Well, from all the shows that we watch and try to review, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. So much TV.
True.
And so little time. And another person told me about it to watch it too. And you think it's so good. And I have to say, I can't agree. Not the premise, but with opinion on
with the opinion of the person that referred it to you.
Well, I mean, with the ratings of the Rotten Tomatoes,
yeah,
I find it a little too high, especially with the audience. But that's fine. This is directed to a certain demographic, an Asian demographic, which great. I mean, I grew up watching kung fu films, samurai films, all that stuff, same as you, anime, all that stuff. And I did like the story. I did like the premise. But since of martial arts action, I was a little let down.
Oh, okay.
Now, we have Michelle Yao starring as Eileen Sun, Mama Sun. She's not the main star, but she has a predominant role in it. Then you have Justin Chien as Charles' son or Chairleg's son.
Mm-hmm.
Samsung Lee as Bruce's son. Those are the brother's son. Those are the main focus point. Then you have some side characters. Yeah. Michelle Yao is one of them, but she's also a vital part. Jun Lee, TK, Heidi Kwan, Alexis, who does not look Asian or not 100% Asian. She looks more like mixed but whatever. Alice Huken as Jun, Jenny Young as Zing, Rodney To as Detective Mark. Grace was played by Madison Hugh. She kind of reminded me of Aquafina. Johnny Kao was Big Son, the father. So you have also some actors from Everything All at Once.
Yeah.
You have Ron Young, which he played Frank Ma, the guy who would like to tell stories.
Yes.
We've seen him in many other roles. He was in Texas Ranger. He was in Marco Polo, the old show on Netflix.
The Paper Tigers that we reviewed.
Yes. But anyway, how many episodes? I can't remember.
There's 8 episodes.
Premise is pretty good, but it's kind of like that. We've seen it before where, like, say one person is a spy and their partner or their families do not know that person's a spy. Here is a gangster. One family member does not know is a gangster, which is Bruce's son, the college student.
Yeah.
What did you think about this show? Did you like it?
Personally, I did like it. More for the family dynamic because I saw a lot of similarities to the family culture to us in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And how they're, even though it's like exaggerated in certain areas, like I could relate to that. And that made me crack up And I laughed more than anything watching the show. Plus the concept of the cooking, and like I watch a lot of Food Network. For some reason, just cracked me up.
But also in anime, you like these cooking shows in anime. Well, you love anime in general, but
Yes, I
there's
do. I
one.
do watch anime cooking shows.
No, I know, but I'm just saying you have
Are you talking
not the
about Food
relation,
Wars?
whatever. Like the god of cooking or something. There's so many, but I don't because you've been more consistent in watching these anime shows.
Sure, still
But
do.
I'm just saying it has that little thing. Now, granted, this is not really the main theme here. You
No.
have Charleg Sun, that that's one of his passions.
Yes,
He does the gangster thing because out of respect and honor and duty of his father.
and arguably brainwashing.
Well, yes, and we'll get to that later because that's exactly what happened to him. And then you have Bruce Sun, who has a love also for improvisation,
True.
acting, but he's doing his thing when it says like Charleg's son excuse me, is honoring the wishes of his father, where Bruce is honoring the wishes of his mother.
Yes.
Because she wants him to not be in that lifestyle, to pretty much a typical Spanish Asian household.
They're hitting some of the stereotypes too.
Right. Now, for me, the thing is like I did enjoy the family dynamic, but as for action, I was like, eh.
Okay, so for action, was it because I thought Charles' character, Justin Chen, I thought he was pretty decent on his fighting.
Right.
I was surprised they didn't utilize Michelle Yeoh.
And it was funny because Kim was like, when are we going to see her throw down? And as soon as she said it, she had that fight with the girl in the motel. It wasn't stylized. It wasn't like, it was just very more like down and dirty with a person who has no experience in fighting.
Yeah, which I get. Jenny Yang comes from stand-up comedy. I don't know if she does martial arts in the past personally.
But Michelle Yeoh does, right?
Absolutely.
And you'll think she would have a display here because she is the Rolodex. She was in that lifestyle of the Triad Syndicate. She had to take care of herself back then. So you would think that she could hear. But I would say the one I did like in the sense of the fight scene was the origin story of Chairleg Sun.
Oh, the kid was actually pretty decent, yeah.
Right. That reaction, that movement, how he displayed his martial arts skill in the sense of trying not to get hit was very reactive, very realistic, in my opinion, where the other fights seem really staged. You have, again, Chao Sung is facing multiple attackers and they're fighting one at a time and they're waiting. They're about to strike and they'll swing again before the strike. I was like, really?
That's why my friend was like, it reminded him of those old school kung fu films.
Yeah, but the old kung fu films, man, so much better. So much better than that.
We have like, those are the things that made us.
The golf cart course scene.
Looks like Top Golf.
Right, yes, there you go. That he's up the steps and he grabbed a dish tray kind of thing.
Yeah, waiter tray.
Right. Well, two guys are swinging clubs at him, and then he holds up like a shield, right? But he has one hand behind the tray, the other hand in front of the tray. They're swinging, hitting the front. So his arm is in his way of getting hit, but as if, no, it doesn't hurt him.
Yeah.
Again, that doesn't make any sense to me in a sense. If you have your arm there, that arm will be broken multiple places from getting hit with those golf clubs. And then he's hits a golf ball and hits a guy in the head. I'm like, really? But the origins of his name from that as a kid, grabbing the chair leg and defending himself and fighting and protecting his parents, which we find out that's more of, it was a test. Will he defend or will he coward?
Yeah.
And he killed innocent people because I don't think he was supposed to kill. I think it was his own men.
Whether the guy was innocent or not, that's still up for debate because we don't know the guy's past. But yes,
right.
He probably was thinking he wasn't going to get killed. He was probably just going to be like, oh, at most I get knocked out. What about bloody boots? Blood boots?
Yeah. I mean, it was okay. But it was more like he reminded me of Bolo in a sense his fighting style.
Yes.
Like, bam, bam, bam.
Yes.
And then he was like,
exaggerated.
I would say stiff. Exaggerated, but not really looking. Because Bolo was, I don't know why, but Bolo would just never look. He'll just fight and like I guess to show off how badass he was. He's just like, I don't have to look at you and
Hmm.
beat you. But I did like some things, some callbacks. I got a kick out of Jim Cotta reference.
I figured you would.
Jim Cotta, they were saying it's the best movie. It's like, no, it's not. Okay. But it's like Jim Cotta, that movie, out of everything they had, I guess that production only had the rights to do that film as a reference to say
Hmm.
which was the best. And that scene where doing the Thomas Flair on the pommel horse,
He's like, I finally
I
did
find
it.
right. But I'm just saying, it's like he knocks out 20 guys, and then I'm looking at it and I'm like, all they're doing is running up to the foot to get kicked. They're not
Yeah.
really fighting. They're about to, and he gets, but anyway. And this show was a little predictable in the sense of I knew
I
Kim
figured about
knew.
Grace. Yeah.
Yes, it was kind of like convenient because after the first, I guess, attack, she shows up.
I saw that coming. I was like, I was either she's working with them and she's going to turn, or she's going to turn and be either double agent or triple agent, one of those
Mhm.
things. So I figured that was coming. I'm okay with it. Sometimes you can see predictability and it's just fine.
Do you have a favorite moment?
The opening when he's cooking,
Cooking?
and then because you don't see who they are, they kind of
Right,
I kind of like
right.
the idea that they focused on the show and they had them blurred out in the background when he was
Well,
fighting
they
them.
were wearing masks. They were wearing masks, so you couldn't really
Yeah, no, there
know
was a
anyway.
point where he was fighting them in the kitchen area, and
Mhm.
the show for was it British Bake Off, Great British Bake Off?
Oh, yeah, yes.
The camera focused in on that, and
Right,
so the
okay.
background was blurred.
That's
And
true.
I kind of liked that concept because then it like I was wanting to focus on it. Like when the father got shut out, I could see the predictability about that, but that got me interested and hooked. Like overall, the interaction between the brothers,
Mhm.
I did enjoy. I liked Chair Son more. I keep calling him Chair Son. Uh,
Chair
Charles
leg son
Chair
or
Leg.
Charles son. Yeah.
The older brother, I did like him more as a performance character, more than Bruce. Bruce, good at moments, but very whiny at other moments.
Well, I mean,
Understanding the situation, it just felt like
right.
a little bit extreme sometimes.
Well, it was just like, wake up, man. Get over yourself. Because
Yeah,
he was always still like not understanding. I was like, but dude, after a while, you should be like, okay, I got it. This is the lifestyle I'm in now. And he did eventually. What he did to his father was actually very smart.
extremely. And that's what and it was kind of cool that his father called him out on it. He's like, you're technically better. You just don't realize it. You're clever. And like the thing you
Mhm.
did with the Komodo dragon, the thing when you just outed us,
Rescued your mom.
you rescued your
When he
mother
rescued a mom. Yeah.
with the other aunties, and he's like, and you could be more cold blooded than your brother. You just don't know it yet. He calls him out on those things. So his
But
father
no,
knew.
but what I'm saying though, he instead of shooting him to kill him, he shot him and he says, "Well, you can either bleed to death or you can call 911. And whenever a person enters an ER with a gunshot wound,
They're obligated to call
the
the
police
police.
correct." So it was like, you damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah, and he
And so
banks on
he
the
put
fact that his father will choose life no matter what.
correct. And so I thought that was a very good like option and to give in the sense of if I kill him, I'm my father's killer. You don't want that on your conscience. And then, but then you don't have him trying to kill you.
Yes.
Also, I mean, he still can put a hit. And I know we're jumping ahead, but actually, I thought that plane when at the end was going to blow up,
Oh,
and Bruce is going to be like,
then no possibility for season 2.
well, no, it could be, but in the sense like now his path has drastically changed.
Yeah.
Where he has to go like on a revenge kick. Like, who did it? Was it the father? Was it someone else that was like trying to cut in onto the gangs? So that's why I thought. But season 2 is going to happen the way it left off. I mean, if they don't, well, Netflix does have a reputation of canceling shows that are liked by the masses.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of them. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed if they do it. I mean, I will not watch this season again. I will watch the second season when it comes out. I do find it a little too tad long per episode.
That's fair. That's fair.
Now, also the assistant DA or whatever the lawyer,
Yeah.
it made no sense of what she was able to do. I thought she was a cop at first. She's going to the crime scenes. She's
Oh,
investigating stuff.
that part, yeah.
I was like, but wait a minute, why is this lawyer going into the precinct?
And she's always with that one detective. Like, what's the deal between the two of them?
Right, but not just that. Like sometimes it's just by herself.
Mm-hmm.
When she goes to get to the phone at evidence at the crime scene,
Yeah.
she just walks in. No one questions her. She has no tags identifying her that she is the DA, prosecutor, or assistant DA. Nothing of that sort. No cops say, hey, you can't come here. They just let her walk in.
Yeah, but that was like a flashback because they show that she
No.
got the
Well,
consent.
no, she had the consent to do the wiretap.
Uh-huh.
When she arrived at the scene,
Oh yeah, she
there's
walked
yellow.
into the trailer. The flashback showed her walking out of the trailer, just handing it to the
Right.
other officer.
Yeah, she walks past the yellow tape. There's cops there, but like cops like casually just look away. But I'm just saying, the thing is, for a prosecutor, for a person of not a cop, you should not have that
She has
freedom
that she has a lot of power now.
that she had.
Yeah.
And she was just more an assistant and then ends up campaigning as the DA, what have you. And that was a little weak writing in that aspect.
I can see that.
How about weak moment?
I agree with the timing. Like the episodes, they could have been shorter. What's her name again? Jenny Yang, who's supposed to be second to Blood Boots.
Yes.
If they were using maybe a body double to like improve her fighting, that would be one thing. It made no sense because like the fact that when she fought Michelle Yao, her skill level seemed to drop like 70%.
Not just that, she outweighs Michelle Yao by like 100 pounds. So you should be able to manhandle her, if you will, in the sense of Michelle Yao pushing her side to side, all this stuff.
Well, I mean, like
easily.
In comparison, like to
and younger,
the fight scene that they had prior to that at the restaurant, she's like taking out guys with a bottle, like, oh, that's the guy that killed Blood Boots, and she's like tracking him down.
Oh, that was a cool scene.
It was cool.
Okay, I'll admit that was a cool death scene for him.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it goes from that to the fight with Michelle Yao, and I'm like, that makes no sense.
Right, it got very basic.
It just felt off. So they'll have moments like that where you see someone like they have potential for being good in one area, and then another area they're not as good.
Right.
And that's where you kind of lose that connection with it. Like June, the sister, the older sister, or is she younger sister?
I think she's younger or twin. I don't know. It was like I think
no, they were like on the streets and they were both like orphaned.
Right, but I understand the one. Yeah, she was like hitting the bag, and then she got the revenge later.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a cool scene. That was a nice fight scene with her and Grace in the kitchen.
Yes, but here's the thing: I was anticipating June to be a better fighter because Grace wasn't that as good. It was a good scene,
right, in the sense of what they displayed to us, showed us what they could do. And when they put it into, I guess, reality or in a situation, it was a letdown.
It went back and forth between the two.
Right. And it shouldn't have been. It should have been a little easier than challenging than it was. Right. I'm going to go back to also a scene I did like was when TK takes Charles to the Korean restaurant to introduce to the Korean I guess, Lord, to have like a mutual meeting ground.
He's like, you're friends with my brother. You know my brother. Yeah, he was a dumbass.
Right, but no, not just that. It's like they're all speaking in English or Korean, and then the other guy's speaking Korean. It's like, oh, you speak Korean? It's like, yeah. And the guy's like, you speak English? Yeah, I'm from like San Bernardino. I was like, or something like that. I was like, I'm from here. Of course I will speak English.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you guys want to get a room for you guys can fuck or something like that.
Oh yeah, when Charles was talking to, was it Drowsy?
Yes, but the thing is like Drowsy was taken out too soon. I thought.
Yes, I thought Drowsy was because he was fighting
character,
and I wanted to see more Drowsy. That was also a thing that like I did want to see more Blood Boots because I kind of grew to like Blood Boots' character in general, right. And I saw one fight scene with him, and I wanted to see more fight scenes. He's a stunt
Blood
man.
Boots. Who Blood Boots?
Yeah, he's a stunt.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them are. Like I said, a lot of people are from the Everything All at Once movie.
Yeah,
the Wang brothers.
Well, yeah. We did that. We watched that movie, and that movie has fantastic fight scenes.
Oh, definitely yes. But Blood Boots, he reminded me of the sidekick from Blue Eye Samurai.
Oh yeah, Ringo.
Yes, Ringo. That's who he reminded me of a little bit. multiple things. Granted, he didn't have stubs for hands. He had hands, but he was heavyweight. He was bald headed. He was like very good nature.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, for action wise, I wasn't really that impressed with. I mean, maybe because I'm just more spoiled now with watching UFC and MMA, how realistic it is when you get hit in a certain way, you don't get back up. You don't. You get dropped. And when you see like one step sparring for the most part, where you're fighting a group of guys, but one strikes at a time in the real world, that doesn't happen. The only
True.
person that has gotten it right, in my opinion, or group of people, is Jackie Chan, Yin Biao, Sammo Hung. Those three have gotten it right in the sense of group attacks.
Okay. When you're talking about like multiple people being attacked at one
Yeah,
time.
multiple attacks. You don't just stand still and and people just don't wait one at a time. They're trying to hit you, and you're moving, try to avoid getting hit or ganged up on. Or you use whatever you have in your surrounding to defend yourself. And
Yeah.
those three, I mean, of course, there's multiple other martial artists that have done it, but those are three that I know of that have done it successfully. Donnie Yen has done it. Of course, he has. Of course, Donnie Yen
Yeah.
has done
Yeah.
it, fighting
Yeah.
multiple guys
There's been several
outright.
movies I can think of right now that where he's fought
Yeah.
multiple guys.
Granted, even though the martial arts is not that superior, if you will, the story is compelling.
It did have some good moments though that were
It had
surprising.
good,
The father,
or it
he
doesn't.
brags that he can control the how much pain he truly feels.
How come she didn't know that if she's married to him?
Been like 20 plus years,
I
like 10
understand that,
years.
but she's been with him when he was a head of a syndicate. How come she doesn't know anything about like him being attacked or gotten maybe stabbed or shot, and he's like not showing any pain or wincing or anything like that?
I don't know. I mean, clearly he was not a guy who was very forthright.
True, he's always testing others to see how they are. Right, I
Yeah,
understand that.
and he never uphears his own promises and whatnot. And he's always distrusting of all, even his own wife. So,
But still, I'm just saying, like, you would think that they spend that much time together. Yeah, granted, they spend that much time apart, but that time together, it wasn't just a year, it was several years.
true. Well, Charles was what 14 when that test was given to him.
Exactly. So you think, she would know by then
Hmm.
or know that much about her man.
Yeah,
I did get a kick out of it. Like they were arguing, or not really arguing, they're talking, Michelle Yao and Daddy Son or Papa Son, whatever you want to call him,
in the bathroom.
Big Son. Yes, and he goes right and takes a piss, and he's just pissing there, just like regular couples would do. I mean, I can't do that.
But then when he touched her face, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, Michelle hit him in the throat.
Exactly. He like, doesn't wash his hands. I was like, oh, some gross there. But people are like that. Some people are gross like that. No.
Instantly, when he was doing
You know,
that
you,
and he
you
was
know who
talking to
couldn't do
her
that?
and touched her, I
Uh-huh.
was like, instantly, you're the most hated character of the show for me right now. I hate you too, Michael. It's so disgusting.
Right.
Sorry, go
But you
ahead.
know who could never do that? Who could never do something like that?
Any one of our relatives, like
Dad.
Dad, no, God, no.
That would could never do that. He's like, you got to leave out, go outside while I take a piss. Or
Oh,
no,
you
better
mean just
yet, you
with
stay
someone
here.
in the proximity? Yeah.
Right. Or no,
Uh,
you stay here. I will go outside across the street, use the public bathroom if I have to, for you don't have to hear me piss.
yeah. Or like,
Or
I thought you were talking about like washing your hands. There would be
that
no
would
way.
wash the hand.
Yeah,
No, that would definitely not. That's a very hygienic person in that
absolutely. So
sense.
that's two things. He would like
Right.
wash the hands, and then he'd be like, "You either need to go or I need to go, but someone has to leave."
Right. Yeah, he was very big. I don't want to hear you piss. I don't want to hear you shit. I don't want
Oh
you to
my
hear
God,
me.
you weren't there for it, but we told you about the story about the eggnog, right? At
No,
Merriam's.
I can't remember. Tell me again.
Okay, so we're gonna go along just because of this, but so my father is highly lactose intolerant, and this was way back in the day. My dad never had eggnog, and my godmother will get the eggnog that's in the can, and for some reason, I feel like that's the creamiest eggnog you can get. And my dad,
Before I continue, can you just say dad? Because we have the same dad and we have the same godmother.
this is true. This was back when we were in Jersey. So that was like an hour drive minimum between her house and like Glassboro.
Half hour.
It was a half hour drive.
Yeah,
I thought it was longer. So
maybe 45 minutes.
he's drinking the eggnogs in like full tall glasses. And he's like, "This is delicious. I don't know what it is." And he's like, and he just keeps going. He's like, "What's it called?" It's called eggnog. Miriam goes, "Wow, I'm surprised you're really drinking as much as you are." He goes, "What do you mean?" He's like, "That's a lot of dairy. That's a lot of milk." He's like, "I'm sorry, what?" So he stops drinking. Shortly after that, you see the signs of him like wincing, struggling, and he's slightly in pain, and he's like, "We should go." And then, so we leave early. The entire time, you could see Dad's just struggling driving the car because Mom wasn't driving, and he's
Of
just
course not.
hurting, and no one's talking. And he gets to the garage door. He's like just eyeing the garage door as soon as it opens. Doesn't even get in the garage. Just runs out the car and runs into the house.
He runs out the car. The thing is, like,
he waited, and Mom's like, "You should have just went over." I remember him saying, he's like, "No."
oh, you would never do that. You would never do that. You would never shit in someone else's house.
Especially
I have no
because that
problem with
bathroom
that.
was like right. Remember the house? That bathroom was like right by the kitchen.
No, it was
It was around
behind the
the
kitchen.
corner, but like
It was around. It was behind. But the thing is, like,
he was planning on breaking that toilet.
the thing is, he could go upstairs. They had two. Yeah, had two baths, so he could have gone to the second floor.
Oh, Dad ran up to the master bath too. He wasn't gonna go in the guest bathroom.
No, but I'm just saying, like, their house, they had that at that time. But the thing is, like, he would not break wind in the car. I'll let it go. You will let it go. What does it matter, right? But the thing is, I will let it go while he was driving, and would stop, go to the side of the road, and well, yeah, I'm nasty. But he said, "Get out," and I have to go out of the car and try to break wind. But when you forced to do something, you can't. It will never happen. But then as soon as I get back into the car, oh, I gotta go. He said, "Get out," and then I get out, and then I couldn't. They went right back in. But Dad would never. He will hold it until he was like coming out the other end.
Yes, and I've done that once or twice, and I can't imagine doing that often because it hurts. When you try and hold that
so
back,
bad.
It actually does cause a lot of physical pain. And looking back on that, I'm like, Dad, you had to have been in pain for like 30 minutes straight.
Yeah. And then we have Mom has no problem going, and then she's like, "Oh, that wasn't me." So,
oh, the classic, like, "What you mean? I didn't know.
You didn't feel your butt cheeks shake? We saw it.
We saw it. We saw it and heard it.
You're the only one there. Everyone else is over here. It's like, that wasn't me. I was like, oh boy, so many times. So again, on Rotten Tomatoes is 85% by the critics, 93% by the audience. Where do you see it in the sense of where do you rank it? Do you agree with the audience or with the critics?
I'll go 87%. I had a good time. I would definitely watch the sequel, season 2. I would say 87. I'm a solid 87 on it.
Okay, I agree with 85 with the critics. I did enjoy seeing the Asian culture. Growing up, I had Asian friends. I could relate.
Kicking off the shoes when you come into the house.
We've done that.
Yeah, we do that too. Putting family first. Well, we talk it.
Right.
It's not always the case.
A lot of Asian households, even today, are very traditional.
Yeah.
Cannot say the same for Latin homes. Is it worth the watch? Yes. I do believe that it could have been edited better. The episodes could have been shorter. Sure, give us more episodes. Just make them shorter, in my opinion. That's why, because they average like an hour, maybe a little bit more here, maybe a little less there. Sometimes it just felt way too long. Because sometimes I just wanted things to go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That is our series review of The Brother's Son, currently streaming on Netflix. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment of the series? Let us know in the descriptions below. If you have a movie or show you would like us to review, please also let us know in the description below. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.
And make sure you apply for those jobs.